Target 4 says a rectangular garden plot has a width that is 5 feet longer than its length. Its perimeter is 98 feet. What are the dimensions of the garden? Well, I've been trying to encourage you guys to just solve the problem, like however you want. Just think logically about it. The problem is sometimes you guys are trying to get answers and you're not thinking very logically. So we know that the perimeter is 98 feet. All right? Well, I could do 4 feet and 4 feet, 45 feet and 45 feet. Now I know that if I add those together, 45 plus 45 plus 4 plus 4, that equals 98 feet. That gives me a perimeter of 98 feet. Why can that possibly, or why can that not possibly be the answer? Because of this statement right here. The width is 5 feet longer than the length. Well, 4 is not 5 feet more than 45. And 45 isn't 5 feet more than 4 either. So this clearly can't work. So we have to make a choice. We could keep guessing numbers that add up to 98, or we could try to figure out, let's take a look here. This is the length, this is the width. We know that perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals the perimeter. I can't have too many variables, okay? If I have more than one variable in the equation, I'm not going to be able to solve it. So we have to figure out how to get rid of either L or W. And it just so happens says it has a width that is 5 feet longer than its length. So the width is 5 feet longer than the length. So L plus 5. So now I could say that 2 times the length plus 2, and instead of using W as my variable, I could use L plus 5 because I know that W is equal to L plus 5. So right here. And in changing it to L plus 5 instead of W, now I only have one variable, L. And then our perimeter, it says, is 98. So if I simplify the left side here, we get 2L plus 2 times L is 2L plus 2 times 5 is 10 equal to 98. Gives us 4L plus 10 equal to 98. Subtract 10 off of each side. 4L equals 88. And then we take 4L equal to 88 and divide each side by 4. L equals 22. So we're going to come over to our picture. We're going to fill in this equals 22. The width is equal to the length plus 5. So 22 plus 5 is 27. So I have a length of 22, and my units were feet, so feet. And I have a width of 27 feet. Now, really quickly, would it make a difference if I switch these? Would it be okay to say my length was 27 feet and my width was 22 feet? And the answer is no, because if I switch those two dimensions and say that the length, and say that the length is 27 feet and the width is 22 feet, this statement right here would no longer be true. That's why I can't switch them around. All right, let's take a look at 16. It says sailboat mast has a rectangular shape with an area of 45 square feet. Rectangular shape, area of 45 square feet. So we're going to draw a picture of a rectangle. And we know the area equals 45. And area of a rectangle is normally length times width. So, part B And that's really all they wanted for this one, okay? Part B says find the length of the height if the base is 9. So I'm going to redraw that rectangle here a little bit larger. They're referring to the sides, instead of length and width, they're referring to the sides as the height and the base. Well, here would be the base, and that's 9. This would be the height, and that's our question mark. Well, we had this formula for a rectangle that was length times width. Well, it's easy enough. Instead of doing length times width, we're just going to do base times height. So our area is equal to base times height. We know our area is 45. We know our base is 9. All we got to do is find h, and we do that using division. Divide each side by 9. We get h equals 5. We cannot leave that as our answer because this problem does not give us a variable h. It just says find the length of the height. And while most people could deduce that h equals 5, we want to be positive that we're answering the question, so we're going to say the height is 5, and then again put our units, feet. Word problems deserve word answers. All right, number 17. It says the area A of a trapezoid is given by the formula A equals h times b1 plus b2 divided by 2. It says b is the length of the base, h is the height. So in case you have forgotten, a trapezoid looks like this. You have two pairs of parallel sides, and you have a pair where the sides are not parallel. Base 1, base 2, and then the height would be the distance from top straight down to the bottom. That would be your height. So they want us to take this formula right here and solve it for B1. So if I start A equals H times B1 plus B2, all divided by 2. Well, I gotta slowly and methodically get this all by itself. So let's start getting rid of things. And again, when you're getting rid of things, you start by peeling off layers furthest to the outside. So this 2 at the bottom is the furthest to the outside. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So to multiply both sides by 2, that will cancel that out. And I'm left with 2a equals h times b1 plus b2. Again, follow the same idea. Peel off the outside layers first. We're going to peel off this h, and that's going to be using division. So that h now goes away, and we have 2a over h equals b1 plus b2. Only thing left to get rid of is the b2 right here, so we're going to subtract it, and we get b1 equals 2a over h minus b2. Now again, we didn't get a specific answer that says b1 equals this number, but we did get a new formula that has been rearranged for b1. And as it just so happens, part B of this question wants us to find the bottom base, b1, of the, sorry, it should say trapezoid, that has an area of 30 square centimeters and a top base of 4 and a height of 6. So if I take this new rearranged formula that says b1 equals 2 times a divided by h plus, excuse me, not plus, minus b2. And I start plugging my numbers in. A is 30, so I got b1 equals, b1 equals 2 times 30 divided by h, which is 6, and then minus b2, which is 4. Well, if I do the multiplication on top, we get 60 divided by 6 minus 4. 60 divided by 6 is 10 minus 4, and 10 minus 4 gives us 6. So the bottom base is 6. And in this case, if you notice, our units aren't inches or feet, they're centimeters. All right, number 18, we're just rearranging the formula. We want to get x by itself. Well, here's x right there. It's on the left-hand side. So that means I have to get rid of the y and the z. So we're going to get rid of the z first. Again, think about outside layers. That's further away. And we get xy equals a plus z. To get x by itself, we have to get rid of y now. So that's going to be division. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side. These cancel out. I'm left with x. Over here, there is nothing that I could cancel. Okay? I have an a and a y, a z and a y. Nothing will cancel, so I'm just left with a plus z, all divided by y. Part B, we want to solve for h. Well, there's my h. It's on the right-hand side. So I have to get rid of the 1/2 and the b. Again, start with the outer layers. So 1/2 is the furthest away, so to get rid of that, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So times 2/1. So here, 1/2 and 2/1 cancel out, and I'm left with b times h. On the right-hand side, excuse me, on the left-hand side, I have 2/1 times a. Well, since the only denominator I have is 1, I can just ignore that, and I've got 2 times a, which is 2a. Lastly, I have to get rid of the b. Well, it's b times h, so the inverse would be to divide. Those will cancel out, and we get h equals 2a divided by b. All right. Last page.